got worked off, blocked the starter. It feels real nice. Yeah, I got the pins on my office wall. I'll cover it off the paint. Your backup starter is running good. I'll give you a active last rating.
My poor old Speedy has been feeling a little jealous of late, with the Planet Ocean taking all the limelight and with the release of the new Rolex Submariner line. Well, my friend, it's time to take the power back. We're going to look at this amazing new strap from the watch tailor and why I chose this colour. As always, there's a story to tell, and in this case, this strap saved me from buying another watch. I'm Andy, and welcome to the English Watch. Before we get started, if you like this content, please give it a thumbs up, and subscribing means you won't miss any updates. Please also check out theenglishwatch.com, where I'm starting to build articles, reviews and hints and tips to help you look after your watch and change bracelets and straps. I've also put links to the tools and equipment I use in the description. Now, wristwatch check. I'm wearing my Speedmaster Professional. This is the current model with the Hess-like crystal bought on the steel bracelet. It's 42mm in diameter, it's super legible and still flight qualified by NASA. And unlike the Rolex Submariner, Omega have not seen the need to change the design in any significant way since 1965. You may notice this one is sporting a rather nice tan leather strap. Now, I have a few straps for my Speedy that I covered in previous videos. Some value straps like the Barton I reviewed a while ago, and a couple of higher end straps as well. I'll leave a link, so please check those out. I still enjoy the watch on the Omega steel bracelet where it spends most of its time, but we all know that the Speedy likes a strap. I'm not a massive NATO fan, so it doesn't get any time on the supplied Omega number despite it being exceptionally nice. Now, I'm not inclined to buy dozens of straps and change them on a regular basis, as I'm quite conservative in my ownership approach and prefer fewer high quality items. And sadly, my watches don't share the same lug widths, so each strap needs to be specific for each watch, and with the Submariner remaining permanently on its incredible oyster bracelet. So why this particular strap? Well, if you watch my video about buying watches in lockdown, you may have noticed I have a soft spot for the first Omega in space. Released in 2012 to commemorate 50 years since the Speedmaster was first used on a space mission by Mercury astronaut Wally Schirra, who wore his personal Speedmaster reference CK2998 in the absence of any official flight qualified wristwatch. This watch is very close in style to the Ed White ST-105003 that ultimately replaced it as the official NASA flight qualified watch, and shares the same, and some might say more elegant, straight lug case than the Professional worn by Buzz Aldrin on Apollo 11. The main difference being the use of alpha hands over the baton hands on the flight qualified version. Other notable points about this watch? Well, let's start with a few negatives that are often discussed. The first being the use of plain steel alpha style hand design for the constant seconds sub-register to match the minutes and hours hands and differentiate it from the stick markers for the sweeping seconds hand and the minutes and hours sub-registers. This is a change from the original that had stick markers for all three sub-registers. The other two are minor gripes around no dot over 90 on the tachometer or the use of a Hess-like crystal. Looking at the back of the watch, we have a wonderful guilloche style finish prominent at the centre with the large Omega hippocampus and the words First Omega in Space and the date of the mission around the perimeter. On the polished edge of the case back, Omega have seen fit to make this a numbered but not limited edition. Now, NASA had a mix of the Ed White 003 design and the Professional, and although the Professional, like this one, was the first watch on the moon, the last watch to leave the moon was on the wrist of Gene Cernan, was the 003 Ed White version. So you can choose to have the first or the last watch on the moon. Omega have both bases covered. Now, you'll struggle to pick up a bargain vintage CK2998, and it's fair to say that the 321 re-edition from this year will be a little out of most collectors' price range at over £12,000, but I'll certainly be putting money away to get one. So the first Omega in space suddenly looks rather attractive at just £4,080, despite the recent 6% price hike, and undercuts the Professional big box version by around £200. So a few months ago, I dropped into my local Omega AD and asked to try on the first Omega in space. Having spent some time soaking on Speedmasters and poring over the detail in the Moonwatch Only book that I highly recommend for any enthusiast, I'll put a link in the description, I found it to have a different charm to the Professional watch that I own. Not only how it looked on the wrist with a slightly smaller no guards case, but also the presentation on the superb brown leather strap. The colour choice of the strap is spot on and has a wonderful soft and supple nature to it that a lot of leather straps don't. Also, the ease in which you can access and wind the 1861 movement on the CK2998 without the crown guards gives it a different tactile nature to that of the Professional that isn't really a pleasure to wind, but you know it's like that for a reason, so you cut it some slack. Now, you could own both of these watches no problem, as they both bring their own unique look and have different stories to tell, and all that for the price of a new Speedmaster 300 007 edition or an Apollo 8. So after a few minutes, I'm starting to gush over this watch, and I could sense that my credit card was in danger. I think the salesman was getting this impression also and was ready to get the champagne out. But on this occasion, sense prevailed and I politely handed the watch back. I'll never afford the head white if I keep buying more watches, so I must keep my eye focused on my collecting goals. I thought, I can get part of the look and feel of this watch by changing the strap. I'll buy the original Omega strap from the first Omega in space. Sadly, the CK2998 case has a 90mm lug width, so that was a non-starter as the Professional has 20mm lugs. So as I already had the APB crocodile strap, I was aware that there were some excellent artisan strap makers out there and hit the internet. I found the Strap Tailor after a brief search, and I'll leave a link in the description. They're based in the UK and I like their story. They advertise a bespoke element to the sale at no extra cost, where I've seen this service can escalate very quickly on other sites. I engaged David and showed him what I was looking for in the Omega strap, and we settled on a whiskey tan with a linen stitch. Having now received the strap, I can safely say this is an exceptionally nice and well-made strap. You may have noticed me proudly posting images on Instagram last week. It came in this plain and understated packaging that emphasised the handmade nature and personal touch I received. The vegetable tan leather feels lovely in the hand and is compliant and soft, so exactly the feeling I was looking for. Looking closely, you can see the detail and craftsmanship that's gone into this, and I'm very pleased. Now, this isn't a paid review. I paid just over £100 for this strap, which is good value compared to OEM straps and other independent producers. So if you decide to give David a go, please tell him the English Watch recommended him. It can't hurt. The strap was supplied with this plain pin buckle, but I've since bought a genuine Omega buckle as used on the first Omega in space. This part number is 94511602 and costs £40 direct from the Omega Service Centre. I've seen this for sale for more, but Omega were happy to sell to me direct with only a small postage fee. Previously, I'd bought a cheap knockoff from eBay for £10, but this genuine is worth every penny. Now let's cut for some gorgeous pictures of this new strap. So I hope you enjoyed this edition. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and don't forget to leave any comments. I'd love to hear any good recommendations you have for straps and other comments around your collecting journey. I'm Andy, this has been The English Watch. Take care and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.